Hi, welcome back to Real Talk with INCODA. Today, we have Dave Wilkes. He's a professional poet, affectionately named Mr. Love, who continues to bring poetry to life in a way that leaves you thinking even to the very end. Nominated to be the co-host for the 2022 Commonwealth Games, Dave is promoted as a leading performing act in Birmingham and throughout the UK, as he continues to expand his offerings of motivational poems, inspirational poems, uplifting poems, poems for birthdays, parties, newborns, children, schools, colleges, universities, christening, weddings, the elderly, funerals, opening ceremonies, and bespoke poems. So Dave, how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, and thanks for having me today.
Yes, we're honored.
Right.
The first question I would like to ask you is, what sparked your initial love of poetry?
Great question, because it was about 9 years ago, and I was at my father's house, and we were just talking about the gift that I've always had, but never realized that I had it, if that makes sense. And we were just talking, and he says, you know, I think that you should really start writing in a bit more of a higher level, instead of just writing in greeting cards. So he suggested for me to put my poetry words into a frame. So I bought my first frame, and I showed it to a friend. My friend was inspired by the words and the presentation. And then next thing I know, I was doing it full time. And this is the point to where I am today.
The love of a father.
Yes,
you can't
indeed.
outmatch that, other than the love of our Heavenly Father. You know, the love of our, earthly parents that the Most High, place on earth to, help guide us through life. It's amazing when they can be of support, and lead and guide their children, in a spiritual manner.
Yeah.
So tell us, your poems are amazingly thoughtful and personal. What role should content play for a poem?
So the content of my poem, I always look at the special points that I'm given, and a lot of people call me and give me some special points about their loved one, about their company. So it's studying the actual special points and then creating something from that in my silent place where I do all my writing. So I hope that answers your question on that one.
Yes. For beginning writers, what's important to consider when writing a poem? Like for the beginning writers, what do you consider, most important for them that you would like, share with them to say, okay, this is important when considering writing your poems?
Well, what works for me is to appreciate the equipment that you're using to write your poem, and appreciate the actual document which you're now going to put your powerful words onto a document. So my suggestion would be to actually pray on your device, just to give it that higher power, that higher energy.
Wow, I love that.
I would also suggest, and this is what I do on every piece that I write, I actually put my hands on the blank document before I write absolutely anything. And again, this is giving it an extra power and extra energy. And I just find that once I've blessed the equipment and blessed the document, we're going to get some beauty for the recipient. they're just like this more powerful energy, and that's what I found when doing this. And I would suggest for early writers to follow the same sort of trail, as it were, and also trying to come from a mind space which, if possible, to be a beautiful place. I do understand that, you know, people might write in anger, you know what I mean? But I just think there's an extra beauty when we can just try and lock away our mind into a beautiful arena for the time when we're going to write that very unique piece.
Wow, that's powerful knowledge and wisdom right there. You know, that's it's like a sacred message, you know, to writers and entertainers to know. It's like, for most people with gifts, that's kind of like the key starting point right there. So you just gave a lot of wisdom and knowledge that people
Wow.
take for granted every single day. So is there
That's
anything
right.
you find particularly challenging in your writing?
No. I just feel so blessed with the gift that I've been blessed with. I just feel so blessed to do what I do full time, to be able to write an A4 poem, because those are the type of poems that I do. To write an A4 poem about a loved one who I've never met before, I think it's an amazing thing that I can actually do. And many times I look at myself and I'm thinking, that piece there was amazing, and it could only come from the Most High. So what I'm saying is that it's like the Most High has allowed me not to have a blockage. This is year 9 for me.
Yes.
And the Most High has not allowed me to have a blockage. 24 hours a day, I have to be mentally ready. Because somebody might say, I need something for my daughter who's in a very unusual place. I don't mind having or paying an express order to get that in the next 24 hours. So my mind has to be ready kind of 24 hours a day, just in case that call comes through. So I think it's a combination with the Most High, just being ready. And it's like the Most High saying to me, I will allow you to write that from a beautiful place when needed.
Wow, all praises to the Most High for that response.
Thank
So
you.
tell us about your writing process and the way you brainstorm your ideas for your books and for your poems. You did like hit on that, but kind of like go a little in depth.
Okay, I'll go a little bit in depth with that. For me, I'm very disciplined. And if you want me to go in a little bit more depth of my discipline, every morning there's a beautiful scenery, a canal. It's only 5 minutes away from my home. And some mornings you will find cyclists, people walking their dog. And when I'm down at that canal area, there's all that greenery and the still waters, as it were. And there's just a connection with nature. And this is where I pray and connect every single morning. It's very quiet down there. Like I said, now and again, you'll see cyclists or somebody walking a dog. But that is where I get the majority of my inspiration. That's where I make my connection with the Most High.
Wow.
Which now allows me, after 2 hours, to go home, get washed up, and this is ready to work. So that's a crucial part of my journey for my day, to prepare me to get ready to work, to write. And if I'm not writing for somebody, I'll be writing to inspire the youths, the adults, the elders. I would have seen enough material down at the canal side in that early morning. And if I haven't been commissioned to do anything on that particular day, I'm going to get my inspiration from here. I might be talking about a squirrel running up a tree. When I write the poem about the squirrel and the tree, we go somewhere else. So that's been happening now for the last 5 years. And out of 5 years, yes, there's a few mornings that I've had to miss. But if I'm traveling, I will do the same process. That morning process is crucial for me. I was booked to go to Norway, September 2019, and I was called back December 2019. And where I stayed, probably 12 minutes away, there's a beautiful river, massive river. And that's where I homed in, looking at those surroundings, that beauty in Norway. The first time I was there for 7 days. In December 2019, I was there for 2 weeks. Every morning, that connection. So that's my everyday process. Before I even open the laptop to start typing, to go through that process.
Wow, I love how your first start is your spiritual connection with the Most High. And it's like you gave so much valuable information to anyone out there that wants to start writing and processing information, because sometimes people need to start. And it's like when you start with your relationship with the Most High in prayer and conversation, and I love how, you know, the environment is so important to you. And that's going to help a lot of writers and poets and publishers, because sometimes they may wonder why they have a blockage. And a lot of times it's because they haven't had that initial spiritual relationship and contact with the Most High. And sometimes it can also be the environment. You know, we may think one environment is peaceful or whatever the situation, but it may not be the right environment that's, you know, conducive to that, you know, positive outcome of their art or gift or whatever it is they're presenting. And you just don't know how much your response is going to grace and honor and bless up someone, because sometimes people need to hear responses like that from a humble, kind, gentle soul like yourself. And it's important because You know, a lot of people can say things, but some people filter it out because they see that the realness in the person, you know, regardless of whether it's positive or negative. But when they receive the information from someone that, you know, walks the walk and talk the talk, you
Yeah,
know, it's important. And they can like, wow, sometimes things are just that easy, but we don't know because we don't know how to start and where to start. And your words of wisdom is going to, you know, help a lot of souls globally. And I thank you for that.
you're welcome. You're
So
welcome.
give us an interesting fun fact about your poems.
A fun fact. Well, some of my pieces come from a very funny space. So, you know, they're quite interesting. I like to take people back into the day, as they would say. You know, I was talking to my daughter, JD, about video recorders. And she said, Dad, I haven't got a clue what you're talking about. So I wrote a poem about the video recorder. So that's a bit of fun when I go back into the day. And you know, I think it's just nice just to remind people of those beautiful memories where everything wasn't necessarily digital. You know, I mean, iPhones were non-existent when I
Yes,
was
who knew
growing up.
that things would change so drastically, you know?
Yeah, yeah. So that's fun to write about those type of things, and share it with people maybe of a similar age, or even the youths, to say, did that really happen? Yeah. So yeah, that's a fun part of what I do with my writing as well, through my poetry.
So what advice do you have for writers?
I speak for people of any age, really. If you feel that you've got any type of inkling that I think I can write, most definitely open your mind, open your heart, and write. A sentence or a verse that you write down could be just the right bit of ingredients to make a massive difference in somebody's life. Whether it was somebody's son, somebody's daughter, somebody's husband, somebody's wife. I would say to anybody who feels that they've got that writing gift within them, share how you feel, because what you've been through could be somebody else's medicine.
Yes.
So don't ever think my words won't impact anybody around the world, because when we talk world, it's unstoppable, the amount of people that we can connect with.
Yes.
When we talk about community, it's a little bit smaller. When I talk about the UK, it's a little bit bigger. But when we're talking world, we have to capture somebody.
Yes. Yes.
If we're lucky enough, and if we're blessed enough that what we speak when we write can be pushed out in the right funnels, we will catch the minimum one. In my prayer time every morning, my prayer is, please today, let me impact the minimum of one person per day. The minimum one. That's my prayer every day. So this is where we have to write and get it out there. It doesn't make sense writing something from your heart and it's left in a folder for 40 years, for 50 years, when that could have been impacting so many single people each day. So just to round up the answer to your question, if you feel something inside, just get that pen out, get that device out and write. And get it out somehow. There's so many different platforms now. Get your piece out. It might touch that magical person waiting to hear how you're thinking.
Yes.
And if you can add some extra spice to that and allow your writing to be inspirational, oh, we don't know how many people we can bless them. Impact, inspire, uplift, and motivation. That's what I think about every single day when I write. I don't want to be talking bad words, so nobody can get inspired by that. I don't want to be talking about dark places and making people unhappy. People can't get inspired by that. Thank you.
Wow, I think you just impacted, empowered, and uplifted people globally with, everything that you just said. Can you share with our global audience how they can get a copy of your book and your poems?
Okay, then. So, yes, I have wrote a book. I believe there's about 180 just different inspirational poems in there. We're just at the final stage of just making a few little tweaks, maybe adding an extra bit of inspiration and some uplifting pieces to the book. However, to get any of my work or to order any of my work, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I've got a website. And if you make a request to order any of these pieces, those are the main platforms that you'll find me. To send me a message and then we can talk thereafter. I feel the biggest area of my work is bespoke, inspirational, personalized poems. Those personalized poems for somebody just to say, do you know what? I appreciate you. It doesn't have to be for a birthday or for an anniversary. It could be in the middle of the year. I appreciate you, my daughter, my son, my friend, my neighbor, and all you need to do is just send me 7 special points that best describe that loved one, that best describes that friend, that best describes your organization or your business. I know that you sent me some special points about your business.
Oh my goodness. And you wrote the most beautiful poem for our business that we, our board of directors, we decided to make sure it goes at the beginning of all of our magazines. So wow. That's just amazing and inspiring in itself to show with the world how unique, spiritual, inspiring, uplifting, motivating your poems are for businesses. Like, okay, this is going to be the the opening and the beginning and the start. Once you open our magazine, that's just like phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, for people who've got their own business, whether it's online, what's the special mission points about your company? And then once I've got those special points, I'll go into my other world, and then I will create something and we get it over to you, whether it's going to be framed or even sent as a PDF file. Yeah. Again, with a person, what's special? What best describes your loved one? And then again, I'll go into my world and create a personalized poem, and it could be just an appreciation poem. It's a beautiful birthday gift. You see, for me, my poem will last longer than chocolates.
Yes.
I guarantee it. And if you're a lover of chocolates like me, a box of chocolates will probably last, if they're lucky, 48 hours. A poem will last for life. Yeah. So I feel nowadays, for loved ones and special people, we would need to be giving them things of value, things that they can look at maybe 20 years down the road and say, I know where those words came from. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
to find me on those platforms, it's Facebook, which is Just Divine Poems. Instagram is at Just Divine Poems. And my website is www.davewilkes.co.uk.
Thank you for your beautiful message, and thank you for uplifting the world globally with your presence. And I know you have so much to offer, the humanitarian work that you do with your poems, and how, you share them with people that are less fortunate and people that are in needed situations, and how you grace them with your poems. And so that's great in itself. Dave, could you share with us one of your beautiful poems? I just can't let you leave without, gracing the world globally with one of your beautiful bespoke poems.
Oh, I'd love to. So to date, I wrote 1,500 pieces. And one that's very close to my heart is one of the first ones I ever wrote, and I titled it Dreams. Have you got any dreams yourself before I start?
Yes, in a sense.
Okay, well, I'm sure I can get this poem to you if you've got dreams. And it goes like this. A dream will never come true if you don't start with a dream idea. A dream will never come true if you are not prepared to take your life up an extra gear. Stretch. Go on, stretch a little more. The type of stretch like you're tiptoeing on your bedroom floor. At least once a day, imagine yourself living your dream and taking your positive self-belief somewhere amazing where it's never been. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
thank you all for watching Real Talk with INCODA. Subscribe and hit the like button. Thank you.